भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 33, Text 3, Activities of Kapil Dev. Text 3. Sa Esa Eva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Birjaha Sargadi Aniha Avitatha Bhisandhir Avitatha Bhisandhir Atmeshwara Atarka Sahasra Shakti Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniha Vitatha Visandhi Atma Sharotarka Sahasra Shakti Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniha Vitatha Visandhi Atmeshwarotarka Sahasra Shakti Shaiva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniha Vitatha Visandhi Atmeshwarotarka Sahasra Shakti Shaiva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniha Vitatha Visandhi Atmeshwarotarka Sahasra Shakti
Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadineho Vitatha Visandhi Atmeshwarotarka Sahasra Shakti
Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniho Vitatha Visandhi Atmeshwarotarka Sahasra Shakti
Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte
Mataji's.
स एव विश्वस्य भवान् विधत्ते गुणाप्रवाहेण विभक्तवीर्यः
गुणप्रवाहेन विभक्तवीर्यः
सर्गाद्यनीह वितथाभिसन्धि
सर्गाभ्यनीह वितथा विसन्धि
आत्मेश्वर तर्क्य सहस्रशक्ति
आत्मेश्वरो तर्कसहस्रशक्ति
Saha, that very person. Eva, certainly. Vishwasya, of the universe. Bhavan, you. Vidhatte, carry on. Guna prabhahena, by the interaction of the modes. Vibhakta, divided. Birja, your energies. Sarga Adi, the creation and so on. Aniha, non-doer, the non-doer. Abhitatha, not futile. Abhisandhi, your determination. Atma Ishvaraha, the Lord of all living entities. Atarkya, inconceivable. Sahasra, thousands. Shakti, possessing energies. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation take place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation, and although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Please repeat after me. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interaction of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation take place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation. And although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The statement made in this verse by Devahuti that the Absolute Truth has many diverse energies, although he personally has nothing to do, is confirmed in the Upanishads. There is no one greater than him or on an equal level with him, and everything is completely done by his energy, as if by nature. It is understood herein, therefore, that although the modes of material nature are entrusted to different manifestations like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, each of whom is particularly invested with different kinds of power, the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from such activities. Devahuti is saying, although you personally are not doing anything, your determination is absolute. There is no question of your fulfilling your will with the help of anyone else besides yourself. You are in the end the Supreme Soul, and the Supreme Controller. Your will, therefore, cannot be checked by anyone else. The Supreme Lord can check others' plans, as it is said, man proposes and God disposes. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead proposes, that desire is under no one else's control. He is absolute. We are ultimately dependent on Him to fulfill our desires. But we cannot say that God's desires are also dependent. That is His inconceivable power. That which may be inconceivable for ordinary living entities is easily done by Him. And in spite of His being unlimited, He has subjected Himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures like the Vedic literatures. As it is said, Shabda Mulatvat. He can be known through the Sabda Brahma or Vedic literature. Why is the creation made? Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities, He created this material manifestation for those living entities who want to enjoy or lord it over material nature. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He arranges to fulfill their various desires. It is confirmed also in the Vedas, Eko Bahuna Yo Vidadhati Kaman. The Supreme One supplies the necessities of the many living entities. There is no limit to the demands of the different kinds of living entities, and the Supreme One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, alone maintains them and supplies them by His inconceivable energy. Saeva Vishwasya Bhavan Vidhatte Guna Prabhahena Vibhakta Virja Sargadaniho Vitatha Bhishandhir Atme Sharo Tarka Sahasra Shakti. My dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation take place. My dear Lord, you are self-determined and are the Supreme Personality of Godhead for all living entities. For them, you created this material manifestation. And although you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. This is inconceivable to us. So, Devahuti is offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared to her as her son. In the previous verse, it was described that the Lord creates everything, so much so that Lord Brahma was created, appeared from his navel. And Lord Brahma is the source of all the living entities in this universe. Still, although Brahma came directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to understand him, Brahma has to meditate for thousands of years. He had to undergo so much austerities. But then, that same personality of Godhead appeared to her as a child who stayed in her womb for a period of time. So she is expressing her surprise that how wonderful is your activities. That although you are the origin of everything, in simple words it can be said that although the entire universe is resting in your womb, you appeared in my womb. The same way Mother Jashoda also felt when she saw the entire universe in Krishna's mouth. Mother Jashoda thought that Krishna ate some mud. Balaram complained. And Krishna denied, no, I did not eat mud. So Mother Jashoda said, open your mouth, let me see. She thought that when Krishna opens his mouth, she will see, she'll be able to detect whether he really ate mud or not. But when Krishna opened his mouth, Mother Yashoda saw the entire creation within Krishna's mouth. And she was surprised that this boy appeared to me as my son, but the entire universe is resting within his mouth. And in a similar way, Kamsa also felt. Kamsa, when all his endeavor to kill Krishna failed, Kamsa actually called his assembly. All his ministers and even his father, Ugrasen. And he was saying, he started to describe that this boy cannot be a boy. Although he looks like a boy, but he must be somebody else in the disguise of a boy. And his point was that just lying on her lap, he killed Putana. Putana was so terrible that no one could kill Putana. She was so powerful. Then he considered Balaram's strength, that Pralambasura, the demigod jointly attacking him, could not defeat him. He was so powerful. The demigods could not, what to speak of killing him, defeat him collectively. But Balaram, just by striking on his head with his fist, killed him. So how can I believe that they are just some little boys? He said they must be in disguise. They must be hiding their identity. And then he started to consider that I heard that this person appeared before also. As a dwarf he appeared. Little dwarf. And appearing as a dwarf, he took away the entire universe from Bali Maharaj. 3 planetary systems, upper, lower and middle. And in this way, he just kept on considering that this is a personality who disguises his identity, appears in different ways, but he is not that personality. Actually, Kamsa's calculation also is correct. Although he is seeing Krishna from a demoniac perspective, he is recognizing that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Just as gopis also told, Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan. You are not the son of Mother Yashoda. Akhila dehinam antaratmadrik. You are the super soul of all living entities. So this is how we can see how inconceivable Krishna is. And why Krishna is Krishna, why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What makes Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead? His potency. That is what makes him who he is. It's his potency that makes all the difference. Whether he appears as a little boy, whether he appears as a little dwarf, whether he appears as a half lion, half man, whether he appears as a boar, whether he appears as a tortoise, whether he appears as a fish. What is the special characteristic of these appearances of Krishna? What is the difference between Matsavatar and a fish? Some fish could have been even bigger than the Matsavatar. Like a whale is even bigger than that. Some, like dwarf, is not even an ordinary human being size. Ordinary human beings are about 5 feet 6, 7 inches, just a normal. But this dwarf was barely 2.5 feet. Little body. Krishna as a little child is also about 2.5, 3 feet. So his shape is not what really matters. What really matters is his potency. That's what makes Krishna the Supreme Personality of God. That's what Devahuti is saying. That your potency is inconceivable. And in the purport, Prabhupada is pointing out that he has diverse energies. Parasya Shaktir Bibithaiva Shruyate. He has many different kinds of energies. There's varieties of energies. But Shabhaviki Kriya, Bala. Those energies act completely automatically, Swabhaviki. Prabhupada is pointing out here that by natural, it appears as if it's acting naturally. That is Krishna's potency. When we do something, when we apply our potency to do something, our energy to do something, we have to physically apply that. That application becomes visible. Like if I want to lift this book, I'm using my energy, but there's some endeavor, even though it's a light thing, but some endeavor is there. But with Krishna, that is not necessary. Krishna can act without being involved directly. And all his activities are so swabhaviki, so natural. He lifted Govardhan Hill. Was there any consideration that Krishna was having any difficulty lifting it? Like we see the weightlifters, they lift weight. Before that, they just take so much arrangements, so much preparations. They have to work for so many years in a gym, practicing. But Krishna, that is what Kamsa was saying. That how, even Kamsa could see how wonderful Krishna is. How wonderful Krishna is, that just by lying on Putana's lap, he killed Putana. He didn't have to make any effort. Putana offered her breast to Krishna to suck. She came to kill Krishna, thinking that the poison that she would offer will just kill the baby instantaneously. Krishna killed her. Then Aghasura, Bakasura, Trinavartasura, Vatsasura, Dhenuka. No, not Dhenuka was killed by Balaram. Pralambasura, Arishthasura, Keshi Demon. So they all had been killed one after another without any effort. So that is what makes Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parasya Shakti, Parashakti. And all these energies of Krishna are transcendental, and there are many. And that personality can be understood through the Sabda Brahma. The only way we can understand him is through the Vedas. Sabda Brahma means transcendental sound vibration. Through this sound vibration that appeared in the form of the Vedas, they convey his identity. So the way to understand him is through this transcendental Sabda Mulatat. Sabda Mulatat, which means, Prabhupada is saying, he is known through Sabda Brahma. Sabda Brahman, transcendental sound vibration, or Vedic literatures. These literatures, they are not material. This description or this sound vibration is not material. This sound vibration that is carried through the words of these scriptures are transcendental. And if we hear them properly, if we hear them properly, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with the spiritual sky, will become manifest in our hearts. That is the process. And then we can understand Him. With our intellect we cannot understand Him. It is impossible to understand how a 7-year-old boy can lift a mountain. We can even understand how a man can lift a mountain. A man can lift some weight. Some very strong person can lift a bag of rice. But the thing is, to lift the entire mountain, how is it possible? The considerations will be there that the mountain, the base of the mountain, Govardhan, is a few miles wide. Now how could the stretch of his hand probably will be only about 4 or 5 feet. So how could he do that? How could he do that? Like, if we intellectually try to consider that, we'll never be able to understand that. Like a little boy, how could he lift the mountain? If we try to calculate it according to our physical perception, then it's impossible to figure out. Therefore, people think that these are fairy tales. But the other way to look at it is that a personality who can make the universes, innumerable universes, float in the space just by his will. That means will means he just thought and it happened. Just like God said, let there be light, and there was light. Like when we think of generating light, we think in terms of electric supply, bringing the cables. Nanda is very much aware of all that necessities. Then getting the bulbs, the sockets, the switches. For us to bring light in this room, we have to make so many arrangements. Or we have to carry a dynamo, carry a generator, and then create the light. Or at least we have to have, a torch light to bring the thing and then light up the room. We have to make some arrangements. Even if it's a torch light, flashlight, we have to go to the shop and buy the torch, get the batteries, put the batteries, get the bulb, and press the button. And we have to make all this in there. But with Krishna, there is no need for such arrangements. He simply thinks, let there be light. And this is not even from the Vedas, this is from Bible. Let there be light, and there was light. So that is how inconceivable Krishna is, and therefore he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then at the end, Prabhupada is pointing out that Prabhupada is raising a question in the purport. Why did he create this universe? Why did he create this material nature? What was the need for that? And Prabhupada is answering that question. Because some people wanted to enjoy without him. Some people wanted to enjoy independently. Some people wanted to enjoy rejecting Krishna. Some people wanted to be like Krishna. They wanted to be the controller. They wanted to be the supreme proprietor, supreme controller, supreme enjoyer. Now, that couldn't be, and Krishna's, one of the characteristics of Krishna is that he fulfills everybody's desires. Even those who are opposed to him, Krishna fulfills their desires as well. Even those who are inimical to him, Krishna fulfills those desires. If somebody wants to get Krishna as the enemy, Krishna said, fine. If somebody wants to have Krishna as his friend, then also Krishna says, fine. If somebody says, Krishna, I want to have you as my child, Krishna says, fine. If somebody says, Krishna, I want to have you as my husband, then also Krishna says, fine. So in this way, eko bahunam jo vidadhatu kaman, vidadhati kaman. Vidadhati fulfills kaman, the desires. He is one, but who is fulfilling the desires of many. And many people want things in certain way. Like some individuals don't want Krishna. They want to be independent. They want to be the controller. Now Krishna says what to do. They want to be me, but in the spiritual sky it is not possible. Because in spiritual sky there is no room for falsity. Spiritual sky is the world of absolute truth. So only truth can exist there. Untruth cannot exist there. So we are not the controllers by nature. We are not the proprietor. So Krishna says, okay, so to fulfill your desire, I'll create another world where you will be able to fulfill your desires. There you'll be able to become the Lord and Master. There you'll be able to become the Supreme Controller. There you'll be able to become the Supreme Enjoyer. But, mind you, that world is illusory. You're becoming an enjoyer, you're becoming a supreme, but this is all illusion. Because you cannot be the enjoyer, you cannot be the controller. And as a result of that, what is happening? We do not get what we want. We have an illusory concept. We have a feeling that we are getting it or we will get it. But that's illusory. It's not real. So in this way, in order to fulfill our desire, because we wanted something, Krishna made this arrangement for us. That's what the material nature is. In the material nature, we are simply trying to enjoy. Ultimately, what it consciously or unconsciously, everyone is trying to become the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people claim that, some people do it without even knowing. But that is the characteristic of this material nature and the characteristic of the living entities in this material nature. So this is how Krishna is fulfilling everyone's desire. Now on the other hand, after recognizing that we are suffering here, we want to get out of this material nature and express that desire to Krishna. Then Krishna will fulfill that desire also. Now after suffering consistently for a considerable amount of time, when we come to our senses, we are suffering here. Then what we will naturally want to do? Do you want to suffer? Then Krishna will say, okay. Now that you don't want to suffer, now that you want to surrender to me and become subservient to me, okay, fine, I'll make the arrangement for you. But you have to desire it. You have to desire it. That is the only condition. We have to desire to surrender to Krishna. And the process of surrender is there. The process of surrender is, Krishna is saying that if you are saying that you want to surrender to me, but let me see whether you are surrendering to my agents, to my representatives. Who are Krishna's representatives in this material nature? Krishna's devotees. Therefore, to surrender means to surrender to Krishna's devotees. And that's why Krishna says, those who say that they are my devotees, they are not my devotees. Those who are my devotees' devotees, they are my devotees. Because Krishna sees how we are acting towards his devotees. Because they are his agents. And in this way, when we express our surrender, display our surrender to Krishna, then Krishna says, okay, come back. Krishna makes all the arrangements to take us back to him. And then finally Prabhupada is pointing out that how Krishna, there are many living entities. Krishna is one and living entities are many. And these living entities they have so many needs, so many demands. And although he is one, he is supplying all the needs of all the living entities. This is how wonderful Krishna is. There are innumerable living entities, and Krishna is only one. And that one is supplying the needs for everyone, catering to the demands of everyone. Eko bahunam ya vidadhatu kaman, vidadhati kaman. The Supreme One supplies the necessities of the many living entities. There is no limit to the demands of the different kinds of living entities. And the Supreme One, the Supreme Personality of Godhead alone maintains them and supplies them by his inconceivable potency. That is why Krishna is Krishna. So now you decide what you want to do. Do you want to become Krishna? In this respect, once I heard a joke once. One person wanted to become God. So, then finally Krishna says, okay, fine, become me. And so for a day, he was allowed to become God. But when he became God, then he started to hear. No, then immediately after that, he said, no, I don't want to become God. I don't want to become God. So Krishna asked, what happened? And he said that I was thinking that by being God, I will enjoy. But now, as soon as I become God, all I hear is everyone is asking me, give me this, give me that. So everyone is demanding, give me this, give me that. So I can't handle that situation. Therefore, the intelligent thing to do is not to try to become God, but just try to become his humble subordinate. And then what we'll find? Then we'll find ourselves in that position. Krishna, give me this, give me that. Yes, Krishna says, fine. I'll give you whatever you want. And all we have to do is simply to serve Krishna. And for the sake of Krishna's service, whatever we need, Krishna will provide. Krishna will give. There is no doubt about that. Krishna is already giving us so much. So won't he give us when we need something to serve him? Therefore, all we have to do is to become a humble servant, an honest servant, a genuine servant of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Does anybody have any question?
Where this pastime is mentioned, like when the demigods are collectively trying to defeat the
In some Puranas it's there. And the description is there in the Harivamsa. Kamsa is telling that. Harivamsa is a part of Mahabharata which describes Krishna's pastime.
Right? I was just thinking, what element is it of the chivalry mellow that gives pleasure to Krishna, since if he is so effortlessly defeating them all? Right? Could you comment on that, please?
You see, Krishna's pastimes are his acting. Right? Like just as on a stage, the actor acts. Like on the stage it seems both the actors are wrestling. Are they? And they seem they were striking each other so hard, and they're screaming, they're falling down. But actually, it's just a play, just acting. So similarly, Krishna's pastimes is something like acting. Krishna is acting. And the opponents, they are actually creating that situation. Now, well, Krishna, come and fight with me. Now, Krishna can actually defeat them effortlessly. But he is acting as if, for half an hour the terrible wrestling is going on. You get the point? Like, the main thing is that we have to understand the pastimes means like a play. It's like a play, like a drama. In drama, those who are playing the roles, they're actors. They're not the real characters. They're playing the role. So similarly, not exactly like that, but in a similar way, Krishna performs his pastimes. And the purpose of the pastimes are Paritrana Sadhunam. Paritrana Sadhunam actually means give pleasure to his devotees. And Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. The Vinashaya cha Dushkritam is a secondary aspect. The principal aspect is Prabhupada is saying that to kill the demons, Krishna doesn't have to come himself. Maya can take care of that. These demons can be killed by Maya. But a situation is created in such a way that these demons cannot be killed by Maya, these demons cannot be killed by demigods, these demons cannot be killed by Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Now who is left? So therefore Krishna comes. Sometimes the situation is as if nobody can kill him, not even nobody. No man, no demigod, no animal. Krishna said, fine. He comes as Narsinghadev to kill Hiranyakashipu.
The reason I was thinking about, the reason why this question came in my mind was because I thought that when somebody is fighting, they put that effort into it, and then when they win, that gives them the pleasure. So I was just wondering about Krishna personally, what does he not want to, he must, we hear about this chivalry medal that he has. So, but if he's just doing it so effortlessly, then where is the pleasure aspect of the chivalry medal?
Very good point. Very good point. That's why Yogamaya is there. Yogamaya, you see, a good actor, what does he do? You know what is the characteristic of a good actor?
I always think so.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, what do you think?
I always think that a good actor is one who can enact a real, in an artificial situation, he enacts a real sort of situation.
Okay,
making it look
good. I would put it in this way. A good actor forgets himself and becomes the character. Right? He becomes that. So Krishna also does that. He's a very good actor. He forgets. And Yogamaya helps. Yogamaya is like the directress. Like the director prepares the actors, Yogamaya similarly prepares all the actors in Krishna's Yoga. She's a casting director. She's the directress. And so that is how Krishna's pastime. And the result is the devotees who are participating in Krishna's pastimes, they are enjoying. And Krishna himself also is enjoying. And it's true, like after Krishna wins, he says, see, he just makes that gesture. And sometimes the devotees also tell Krishna, like Madhumangal. Madhumangal sometimes tells Krishna that Krishna, you see, I am a Brahmana and you are a Vaishya. Some say that you are a Kshatriya, but still then you are lower than me. So you should offer some respect to me. Then Krishna says, you see, birth is not important. The activities are actually important. The qualities are actually important. So don't judge me by my birth. Try to judge me according to my action. Then Madhumangal says, what's so great about your action? Tell me. You're so arrogant, you're so puffed up. Then Krishna says, see, when I was 7 days old, I killed terrible demoness Putana who came to kill me. Then when I was 3 months old, I broke that cart just by kicking it with my leg. Then I killed Trinavarta. Then I subdued Kaliya. Then I lifted Govardhan. I lifted mountain. Then Madhumangal said, see, I told you, you're so puffed up. It's not good to be so conceited. And he says, yeah, you killed Putana. Everybody knows that the children and old people are protected by the demigods. So when Putana came to kill you, it's the demigods who kill. And you are trying to taking the credit for lifting Govardhan. The Govardhan was already shaking under your thing. And so Nanda Maharaj and Balaram and all the cowherd people propped it up with their sticks. And as far as Kaliya is concerned, everybody saw you were dead. Your blue body became even more blue and you are completely, everybody saw that you are completely dead in Kaliya's coil. And your situation was so terrible that Nanda Maharaj was about to jump into the river to rescue you. Mother Jashoda fainted. All the residents of Vrindavan was crying and many of them fainted seeing your condition. At that time I took pity upon you. And I started to chant the Sarpa Nidhan mantra. The mantra that would kill a serpent. And it is because of my mantra the Kaliya became afraid and let you loose. And then you jumped up on Kaliya's head and started to dance as if you have subdued Kaliya. Then Krishna says, oh, thanks for enlightening me. Please accept my humble obeisance. So in this way, Krishna performs his wonderful pastimes. Yes. Radharani?
Is it not Vasudev Krishna that kills the demons and Radha Krishna doesn't?
Not even Vasudev Krishna. Is Vishnu in Krishna. Because killing of the demons is not the business of Krishna or even Vasudev. It's Vishnu's business. That also Kshirodaksha is Vishnu's. The Vishnu in the body of Krishna kills the demons.
Maharaj, from what you're saying, this sounds like so much envy, but how does everybody else see this in the spiritual world, what Madhumanga is doing? Do we see this as what, transcendental envy, or what is it? Are you saying all this?
Yeah, I mean, this is how, the boys act. The children, don't they have exchange like that? This childish exchange. But through these exchanges are natural. But just consider through this innocent exchange how much joy they all are deriving. Okay, Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay.